everybody. Welcome to our very first episode of Agents Unfiltered,
where we discuss the do's, the don'ts, and the what the fucks of real estate.
When we all got together and started brainstorming a podcast and what we wanted to do, when we came up with Agents Unfiltered, the do's, the don'ts, and the what the fucks, we wanted to create something where everyone could come, whether you're a week in, whether you're 5 years in, whether you're 20 years in, and find something relatable.
Yes.
You know, it's not just all of us barking numbers and facts and, you know, how you should do your job, which, you know, not that people do that, but sometimes it can be so hard to relate, and I tune out when I'm just hearing all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we are hoping that we can be people that you can laugh along with, learn with.
Yes.
Hopefully this is something where eventually we build a community where you guys can call in and share your stories, and we just create relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the goal here, is to create communities. So I really hope you join us on this journey.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Well said.
That's exactly it.
Yes.
So.
And as much as we all want to be, you know, elite $1 million agents.
Yeah.
Also, I think that it's really nice to be able to talk about like the real messy of real estate.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think that there are a lot of podcasts out there where you can just come and listen to just people just talking, you know, in a more relaxed environment.
And find your people.
And
really.
find your people.
There's so much imposter syndrome in this industry.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
that's real.
That is so real.
Almost being at 2 years, I'm finally feeling like I'm getting the hang of it. Like, yeah, I've done quite a few deals, but there's always something new. But in the beginning, when people are telling you, don't worry, there's always something new, you can't quite grasp that because everything feels so foreign.
Yeah.
But no one wants to admit that they're having a hard time, because you're there for people to trust your advice.
Yes.
You're there to be that professional for them. And so it's this hard limbo in between of, I need to already be at this level, but I'm just a baby in the industry.
Yeah. And there's a lot too, I think, of kind of that like chest puffing within the realtors themselves, you know, of like, oh, well, look at me, I've done this many deals this year. Or, you know, sometimes you'll come across people who are really like, oh, I've sold so many, and then you look at the numbers and you're like, oh, but really not, you know. And I think there's a lot of that imposter portion of it too. And I think it's great to, obviously you want to be knowledgeable for your clients. That's very, very, very important, obviously. But it's also nice to be real with other agents and be like, this is a tough industry, and that's okay because that builds your stamina to last in this industry. So
it's community and competition combined.
It's both. And it can be both. And we want to be an authentic space where we can, you know,
honor all that.
We're going to take a brief minute to just introduce each of ourselves so you can get to know us a little bit. And I will start. My name is Cassie Day. I've been a realtor now for 2 years. My anniversary was actually yesterday. And before that, I was actually the transaction coordinator for our office for a few years. So I've kind of been in the business a while. I am a mom to 3 amazing kids who are, how old are my children? 14, 11, and 8. And we love to just do everything outdoors. We like to go hiking and play outside, have lake days, just lots of adventuring, which is really easy in the area that we live in. We just like to have fun and adventure. I also am a yoga instructor as well, so I kind of have a funny mix of work. I teach yoga and I sell real estate. So that's a little bit about me. Allie, you want to go next?
Gosh, you're so fun.
I know.
Hi, my name's Allie. I'm a single 27-year-old adult female who has been in real estate for 2 years now. I've got 2 beautiful cat babies. That's pretty much just your poster child.
You're a singer.
Yeah. I sing. I do shows. I pretend to know how to play guitar, but it's a lot smoother when someone else does it.
And a badass bartender.
Oh, and I am the real estate stereotype. I bartended for 5 years and now here I am. And you know what? It's all that it's cracked up to be. Talk about networking.
For real. So my name's Danielle. I also am a single mom. I've got 3 kiddos. I've got a 8, 6, and 3-year-old. And I've been in real estate for going on 17 years this year. I'm the broker owner of our office. Let's see, what else about me? I have lived all over the country, went to school in New York, moved back to the Spokane area, and love it here. love our seasons, love outdoor as well. We do lots of outdoor stuff. Love to travel. We try to travel at least a couple times a year, which is super fun. And I own a couple other businesses with my family. So it's pretty much a little bit about me.
Awesome.
So yeah.
I feel like one of the coolest parts about being in real estate is no one ever is like just a real estate.
Yes.
It's true. It's
Yes.
so true.
Like everyone's so dynamic that's in this industry, and everyone's got a different story for
Yeah.
each.
Yeah. And it doesn't hurt to have different revenue, like avenues for income and different revenue sources. And
It's
Well, I
just-
think as a realtor, you're immediately an entrepreneur because it is not a job for the faint of heart. You make your own hours. You're fully responsible for your income.
yes.
And so then I think because we have that entrepreneurial personality, we're automatically already just doing all the things.
It's like
So
hobby
true.
ADD, except for everything makes you money.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Hey, it's not a bad place to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta hang on. Just
Yeah.
gotta hang on.
Mhm.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love it.
Yeah. So, the other thing we wanted to kind of talk about in our intro is kind of how we came into real estate,
Yeah,
right?
How we all met each other.
how we all met
and
each
came
other.
Together.
Yeah. We have a long history, all
Yeah.
the three of us, outside of real estate, which
Mhm.
is kind of fun. I think it adds to our dynamic in our office, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I've known Allie for 10 years.
Oh my
10
gosh.
years.
Yeah.
10 years. She's a baby when I met her.
Right.
That's before kids
Little
for me.
19-year-old. Okay, so
Yes.
maybe 8. Almost.
Almost 9 years.
Yeah.
9 years I've known Allie. So yeah, she was just starting college when I met Allie. So right.
And how did you guys meet?
We met. She worked at our family's bistro, and so that's how we met. And she was singing, and she met Olivia when she was a baby.
Yeah.
And we have pictures.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that go
gosh.
back.
Yeah.
so
I have,
cute.
there's like videos of her just dancing around and spinning in circles.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Music night.
Yeah.
Super cute. Super cute.
Yep. So, and then I've known Cassie for
7 years?
7 years now.
Yeah.
She started out watching one of my kiddos.
Yeah, I
My
actually
oldest.
nannied for Danielle
Mhm.
when she was obviously in real estate and needed someone to hang out with her kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up just like hitting it off really fast
Mhm.
and becoming really fast friends.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Wait. So you met both of us because we both originally worked for you?
yeah.
And now we're working for you again?
Yeah.
What?
I
I
mean,
never made that connection.
There was an end goal. I never
Yeah.
made that connection
Well,
either.
it's funny because Danielle, I knew your brothers growing up. I knew of your
Yeah.
family growing up. I had like one of my friends worked for you, and so like I knew of you. But then I had a mutual friend who used to sell real estate with Danielle as well, and she was the one who connected us to watch watch her kiddo, and it was just like we'd known each other forever.
It's so true.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy.
And it's funny too because like we literally had like I knew your brother.
Yes.
Our brothers were in Cub Scouts together, but we never made that connection
we never
until
connected until
and you used to come into the mason jar.
I did.
Probably
used to
when
come
Allie
into
was
the mason
working
jar.
there.
I'm sure that I did. And I remember I was with my friend that worked for you for a long time at the grocery store once, and you were there with your kiddo, and we were like chatting with you, and I just go back to that memory because like she was so little at that point.
She's a baby.
That was
Yeah.
before we were friends.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me think about like I never would have known you guys back in the day because I grew up on the other side of the state, but also like I would have been in elementary school when you guys were in high school. So
I think you and I are closer in age than me and Danielle are. I think that you and I are closer.
You
I just
are. You're only
started
a
my
couple
life
years
really young.
apart.
Yeah.
why are you so much more mature now?
Because I started my life really young.
This is why we need
This is
the
where I
dynamic.
messed up.
I had Willow when I was 20.
Dang.
I was 20 when she was born.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why, because I had to grow up really fast because I was parenting a little child.
Yeah.
Because
Because you're
I was trying to raise a
27.
human.
yeah.
Almost 28.
Or almost
Yeah.
32.
30. Yeah.
32.
I'm rounding
It's
up.
right in the middle. You're right in the middle of both of us.
Yeah, see?
See, it's perfect. It works out really well.
There's levels to this.
There's
Yes.
levels to this.
Yes,
Yes.
there is.
Yeah.
I love it.
So then how we got into the business,
Mhm.
you can start since you're like the original.
Yeah. The original. The OG.
The OG.
So let's see. I got in when I was 20. I didn't own a home, never bought a home before. I was living in New York City, and I was working for a timeshare company. And a family friend at the time had said I should try real estate. She was in real estate. I should try it. So I did, and I got my license, and I started out in New York, moved to South Carolina, did some land development deals, which was a whole other ball game. did some residential, and then moved to Seattle, where I really got into the residential game and did a lot of new construction, and was there until I moved back to the Spokane area. So yeah, I mean, really, before I did real estate, I didn't, I did sales, I worked cell phone, it was college jobs. I didn't really have a career. I've just always done real estate. So
what made you decide to open up your own brokerage? Because that's a bold move.
Yeah.
And you're doing it.
I'm doing it. Yeah. I just really wanted a brokerage and office that I couldn't find anywhere else. I wanted a different vibe. I wanted to have where it operates like a team, but also the agents are empowered to do their own thing. And I feel like a lot in the industry from the office I'd been at, where you were either fully on your own or you were in a team and you were making a lot less and you weren't, and you kind of just were more an order taker. Mm-hmm. And so I really wanted something different. And it was like the perfect storm, it was like, there was just a lot of things that came into play at that time. My father passed away. It kind of gave me that extra okay, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
And I thought if I'm going to do it, I might as well just do it now. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it happened. Mm-hmm. And I don't regret it at all. So even on the hard days.
Because it's been 3 years now? 4 years since you started. That's amazing.
4, yeah. So
it always blows my mind to think about the culture you created, because I feel like, not that I take it for granted, but this is the only office I've ever worked for. It's the only place I've ever been. And I didn't realize, I knew how lucky I had it. I knew how good I had it. Like when you fit in somewhere right away and you feel supported and you never feel worried about your next step, because there's always someone to guide you or tell you, buck up, you're going to be fine. I will say one of the biggest things that I've noticed meeting other agents and just hearing about other people's experiences is how much I don't want to say took for granted, because I don't take it for granted, but I just didn't realize how awesome this office is from the get-go. Just from the team environment, but not splitting like teams, like how much support we have. There's so many people I know that come in by themselves and don't have a team, and so they're completely on their own. They don't have like a sugar mama managing broker paying for all their marketing and being like, okay, let me take care of everything for you, just do good for me. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, we special.
Yeah. Well, and it makes us, as the agents that work for you, want to produce. Because we have so much support, we have so much training. Like, you are so generous to all the agents in our office that we want to be successful so that you can be successful, so that the office can be successful, because we're just so fortunate. And the culture that's been created here is so beautiful, because we're able to have that training and support. We're like coming into this, and I came into this as a transaction coordinator. I thought that I would know what I was doing when I started actually being a realtor, and I did not know what I was doing when I started being a realtor. And I feel like I even had kind of a leg up. And so I don't know how agents jump into real estate without training and support from their broker. And so I feel like the fact that we're able to chase our career goals and build something of our own while being a part of this incredible group that is supportive and cheerleading each other, and that has the vision that if one of us wins, we all win. So let's cheer each other on and make sure that we're successful. Like, I just feel like that you don't see that out there.
Yeah.
We're kind of like the sparkly unicorn of the real estate world.
Yes.
Well, and like, just speaking on like learning everything, it makes me so happy to think back on the time where I'm like, how am I ever going to know any of these forms? And now I'm like, okay, I can pull this shit out.
You're a badass. You're a badass.
I know. For anyone listening out there that's brand new, you will feel like you know what you're doing eventually.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
In the beginning, it's like that meme where it's like, everything's on fire.
Yes.
But then it's like, suddenly you're like, oh, okay, this is super easy. It's not overwhelming.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and I think it's honestly like an ode to you guys too, because I think that we have such a solid group of people. It really is. And I love that our mentality is that when one of us succeeds, we all succeed. I think that is very, very unique in this industry in general, especially like when you're not on a team, like an official team. I feel like that's very unique. So, I'm just thankful I get to do it with you guys, because it makes it a hell of a lot more fun.
It makes it so much more fun.
So true.
Yes.
So true.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I know you guys thought you were listening to a podcast, but this is our official recruitment video. I'm just kidding.
It has turned into that, apparently.
It's just hard not to brag about how amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So one thing we kind of wanted to chat about a little bit today, just as part of our introductions, right, is what are some of our like positive attributes and how we handle conflict? Because I know we all handle conflict differently.
Yeah.
But I think it all works. And I think that one of the things when agents get into the industry is a lot of times they're either super confrontational or they shy away from conflict completely. And you can't do either in this industry. So, yeah, let's chat about that a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things I love about real estate is that all of us bring our own strengths into our, and we all have our own struggles, obviously, but it's really cool because as realtors, like, you get to bring your personality into the business. And so how we do things is different for each of us. I feel like I'm definitely more of the like softer.
Thank God.
we need at least one of you in the office.
I really like to just keep the waters calm, and there's a time and a place to like really face a conflict head on. But the shit sandwich. I am the queen of the shit sandwich. Yes. And that is where you take some tough feedback and you roll it into a pretty package. So if I have something tough go on a deal where, maybe the appraisal comes in low, I would come in and be like, okay, so excited for how this process is going. I just want to let you know the appraisal did come in low. So we're going to need to figure out, here are our options, but like we can work together to find a solution. Like just coming in with like positive, hard news, positive.
Yes.
And sometimes it's like a situation where there's no positive to it and you just have to be able to like, but even talking with clients about like difficult situations of like, you are not shopping within the correct price range. You want all these things and you have this huge wish list of, I want a 5-bed, 3-bath house and a 2-car garage and a big fenced backyard.
Here's $200K. What can you do with it?
Yep. I've got $300,000 and I don't want to compete and I want to be able to, and that's when you have to come in with a hard conversation of like, I totally hear you and I really want to help you find your dream home and bring it to fruition. The reality of the situation is this is a really tough market for buyers. Prices are higher. So if you want to be able to get into a house, you're going to have to find some places that you're willing to negotiate and let things go. But if you're willing to do that, we can find your dream home.
Oh my gosh, we should have a shit sandwich segment.
We should, yes.
Well, like you and I will like come up with one and just give it to you on the spot.
We'll
be like, and ending this episode with another Cassie shit sandwich segment.
It's my gift. I can take a hard conversation. I text you for them. Yes. Yeah. So I think my version of conflict is like, I try and keep it soft, and obviously there's a time and a place where you just have to be really direct and have a hard conversation.
Well, and it is funny because I know we've both experienced this too, and I don't know if it's just like managing broker versus agent in a way of like, which I don't do a shit sandwich, at least not very well. Okay, let's be honest. Mine are my emails are like one sentence. Yeah. This is what I got to tell you. This is where you got.
Maybe a little smiley face.
Lots of exclamation points.
I'm a really excitable person.
Yeah. Danielle's like, drop the mic. Cassie's like, here's a sandwich.
Yes. But we have experienced difficult people, right? 100%. Where like they've been extremely difficult to you. And then as managing broker, I come in and they totally flip their script. And so it's really interesting because I sometimes am like, I'm ready for a conflict. Like I am ready. Let's go. I'm going to defend my people to the end. And then I get nothing.
And then they're like,
I was ready.
Yeah. And it's kind of a letdown. Yeah. So it is kind of an interesting thing.
And bring them into you hot. But
but no. But then like you and I kind of handle conflict, I think, in a we're very direct.
Yeah, that's true. I'm very direct, very confrontational. But I feel like I also like use humor a lot.
Yes, you do.
And I'm not sure, you have to have a certain kind of personality, I feel, to get away with it too. Because there's certain things where like when I say that I've said something, people are like, you did what? And I'm like, no, they thought it was freaking funny. Like it was hilarious. Like, and I'll have to think of an example later on, but like sometimes situations can get really, really intense and you don't get that break unless you're like, let's circle back, or unless you make a really sarcastic comment where everyone's just like, huh, yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's true. You use the humor.
Break it up.
Yeah, you use the humor game really well. And I think it just plays, I think part of that's probably like bartending. Part of that's just your personality. Like you deal with difficult people and you're able to just kind of lighten the mood. Yep. And I think that is so helpful for you. Like I couldn't do that. I don't have that same way. I mean, I can lighten a situation, but not like with sarcasm.
Yeah, I always say I got my soft skills from bartending. Like, you know, you get all kinds of kinds. Like you've dealt with like the worst parts of people while still knowing them sober and knowing that they're fine. So it's like you know what it's like to know like 10 versions of one person and be like, okay, it's still fine to like you and not hold certain versions of them against them, you know? Yeah. So it's super easy, like even if there is conflict, for it to just like be like water off my back and be like, okay, today's a new day, what's up? Like grudges aren't really a thing when it comes to that. And it's such a stressful process. Like it's going to bring out parts of people that they're not proud of. Yep. And you don't have to make them be accountable for it because they know what they do, right? Just like move on with your day. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to the soft skills, like knowing when to confront something, knowing when to joke about something, knowing when to like ease off and just let someone blow off steam. Like, I
was going to say, I think that there is a lot to put in that with the, like that's always been something my dad taught me years ago is like, let it be awkward. Yeah. Let there be silence. Sometimes that's literally what has to happen. Yeah. And I really sit in that sometimes with clients. And it's especially in the beginning, I'm like trying to scramble, like, how do I ease this situation? How do I make them feel better? How do I, fix this? And sometimes that's not what it is. Sometimes it is just letting them just sit in it. Yeah. And they will get themselves to the other side and then you can meet them there. And I think that's really important sometimes, especially because I think a lot of us in real estate are fixers. Like we want to fix everything and we're problem solvers and we do all that. And sometimes we have to just let them solve their own problem, especially when it's something that we can't. I mean, a lot of times we have hard conversations where we can't fix it. It is just what it is. And sometimes us trying to fix it can actually have an opposite effect. So. And it is stressful. Like this is one of the most stressful times in people's lives, birth, death, buying house.
Yep. Yeah. It's so true.
Cassie, you said something the other day that I loved, and you're like, people need to understand that sometimes you have to ask questions and then whatever answer you get, you just have to be okay with it because that's your answer. Yep. And I think there's so many times where people think about agents as like these slimy used car salesmen, like what can I do to manipulate the situation and get that sale? And I think most agents, I know that we really are here, and I want to say like 80-90% of agents are there for the people and not the money. Like the money is like 100%. A great part, and that's also why we're in it, but the ones who are doing it right are people first, people over profit. Yes. And so
100%.
You are going to get those ones that make everyone look bad, but I think 90% of the industry, I want to say, like, really does look out for people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. Sometimes you have to ask those hard questions and the answer is what it is. And that's okay. Yeah. I feel like we could also go on and on about this topic probably all day. So I'm sure we'll circle back to this topic in one of our other podcasts, just because I feel like this is something that we're always learning and growing.
Oh, yes.
And it's so important. This is something we deal with as an industry all the time. So we will definitely come back to this topic at some point. So, do we want to add anything else before
I think we hit all of our bullet points.
Yeah. Let me tell you something about Cassie.
Oh, no.
She will trip over nothing.
This is true.
It's true. You can't even be mad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. On top of being a shit sandwich pro, she is the eat shit pro.
That is so good. One of my nicknames growing up was Catastrophe Cassie because it follows me wherever I go.
Yeah. And sometimes you rub off on us a little, but I think we, for the most part,
I can't help it. I just feel like my personality is so big that my body cannot handle it. So I'm constantly just falling and tripping and running into stuff because there's just a lot of personality that's trying to squeeze into this little body.
I went on a listing appointment with Cassie once, and we were walking up to the front door. And I don't even think it was brick. I'm pretty sure. Was it flat?
It was flat.
I don't know. We about trip. I see her hair fling forward, but she catches herself. She's got her binder. She goes, I'm good. We ready?
Okay,
I was
but
like,
that
okay,
same listing appointment.
You hit your head inside.
We were we
garage.
were going into the garage, and the garage door was down a little bit. So obviously, a normal person would duck under it. No, forehead went straight into the garage.
Also,
I just went as if nothing had happened.
I was like, also a normal person would have been like, haha, I hit my head. Everyone watched, and Cassie just walks like nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
We're like, Cassie, we all saw you just like wail yourself. Like, are you fine?
No.
She's like, oh, yeah, not a big deal.
You do recover very well.
I do.
So there's that.
Because it happens so often.
Yes.
It's
Part of the daily.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's part of what makes me so special.
Makes me nervous since you have stairs going like up to your front door. I think about that a lot.
But she's fallen a lot.
I fall a lot. It's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. For your help. All right. We have a hypothetical story about a hypothetical thing.
Yeah.
That was hysterical. So Allie got this listing, was
Yes.
gonna get this listing,
Mhm.
got it kind of officially. And
Sign the paper.
this person happened to have lots of statues and odd things going all the way up his driveway on this property, all the way up. And one of them was a T-Rex with a cat in its mouth.
Yes.
Dead cat.
A dead cat.
Not a real one.
I mean, yeah, but that's what it was supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
So Allie came back to the office and said, hey, do you think hypothetically it's okay if like the wind maybe just blew that cat out of the T-Rex's
Yes.
mouth? And
The
I was
wind
like,
does that sometimes.
I mean,
Yep.
if it's already happened, I don't know. So I went to show it about a week later to some clients and warned them, listen, it's a little eccentric. It's going to be fine.
Yes.
I wasn't
It has
quite
a lot of
prepared for the
personality.
level of eccentricity that it was. And the cat was back in the mouth. Back in the
Oh,
mouth. They found
it
it, stuck it back in the
returned.
mouth. Yeah.
Oh
So,
no.
It
It was
returned.
a valiant effort, Allie.
It was good. Yeah.
I
So
love that. And sometimes the wind just blows really hard.
it does. And
Cats
what do you do?
travel.
So, yeah.
It's like I've never been so happy.
Okay, I've got one. Okay, Danielle.
Yes.
So part of being a real estate agent
Mhm.
is letting people know if we're worried about a situation, especially being a female in real estate, there can be sketchy clients. And so I remember once you were worried about going to like meet with this client. So you had me on the phone in your
did.
pocket.
Yes.
So I'm like on speaker in your pocket. So if anything goes wrong, I can call 911 and send them. But you had also told your brother, I'm going to check in with you at this time.
And he drove by me. Yes.
I'm going to check in with you at this time and let you know that everything's okay. I'm nervous about meeting with this client. I have a bad feeling. And then you forgot, like you had me on the phone and weren't getting all of his text messages that were like, are you okay? Is everything okay? So didn't he end up coming to the house?
Yes, I see like someone approaching, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is this guy's buddy or something, and I thought it was gonna go down.
The end is near.
And I go to the door, and my brother is standing out there, and he is so mad, and I was like, oh my gosh, and he's like, I have been calling you and texting you, and thankfully he just happened to drive by,
is
so
so
here it
good.
was, and I'm like, I so appreciate my siblings. They've definitely come to the rescue, not rescue, but come prepared.
It can be really scary
multiple
being in
times.
this business.
Yeah.
And so, we have to make sure we check back in with the people.
Yes, we have to check back in. It's
that we
important.
warn.
It's important, yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Thankfully, I never heard from that guy again. So
yeah, which is great.
there's probably a reason.
There's probably a reason, and that's a good thing.
So
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
So
well,
next time we are going to be chatting about how to be the winning offer
yes,
in this market. So I'm
which
sure
we're all navigating that right now.
Yeah. I would assume pretty much everyone ever in the country.
Yes.
So that's our next one. So we will see you guys next time.
Yeah.